Welcome to The Real Deal, where we get real about what it takes to succeed, whether it's wealth, health, relationships, or finding your purpose. We talk with the masters to uncover the secrets to defying the odds and creating your own rockstar legacy. I'm Doug. After working on multiple Grammy-winning records, years on the road as a national trainer with Tony Robbins, a published author, transformational speaker, and your personal translightenment coach, I'm committed to your transformation, enlightenment, and exponential growth. And now, The Real Deal On. Welcome to The Real Deal On. And we have a very special guest today, and the power of proximity and the power of networking. I believe it was David Newman was doing, I believe David was either on mine or I was on David's, and you came on and you reached out and said, hey, love to, connect. Seem like a cool dude. And I'm like, yeah, you seem like a cool dude too. And so we connected, got on the horn, and you shared what you're about. And gotta say, I love it. You are definitely someone to know, someone to connect with. And thank you for coming. Dean Hankey, the Dean of Success, the spectacular EnterTrainer. I just, when I read that, I loved that. I was like, this is awesome. And your mission, the way you connected, and you have such a great mission that you're working, and obviously would love to learn more about it. But share, who is the Dean of Success and how did you get here?
Well, the good news is that we get to be here wherever we are in the world. There's no more geography boundaries. We are limitless. And I love the fact that we can connect all over the world. And I was an awkward, overweight, abused, bullied kid who found solace in magic at the time when I was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and literally swapped magic for beatings. So you
made them magically disappear?
What was that?
You made them magically disappear?
Yes, actually made them magically disappear. So if I showed them a trick, they wouldn't beat me up.
Right. Got it.
Cool.
Works
right?
Out. Yeah.
So, the short version is I was able to make a very comfortable and beyond lifestyle in the entertainment industry, which is an industry, as you know, best recognized for its failures, right? We've all heard the phrase starving artist, right? I mean, there's out of work people all over the place, but we fail so spectacularly that we have a category all into ourselves.
That's right. Go big or go home.
That's right. Yes. So, and of course, there's that terrible, awful joke. What's the difference between a pizza and a performer?
What?
A pizza can feed a family of 4.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, it's like a lawyer joke. It's awesome.
That's bad. Yeah. But here's the thing. It's kind of true in so many ways because we excel as artisans. And so we have the show business, but we focus on the show and not the business. And so I just simply began to share some of my strategies and insights and what's now known as coaching. I didn't know it then. I would just help my friends get results in their entertainment business. And I just happened to have the good sense at the time to document that process. So we put process together. We wrote chapter and verse and documented the case studies. And I didn't know I was building a info marketing business back in the 70s and 80s, if there even was such a thing. I just knew that I wanted to, people were asking if I wanted to help more than one person. So I said, here, read this. I just did this with Doug and Doug got this result. So just go through this. And if you have any questions, get back to me, and that's how it began. And then of course, as a performer, went on to do casinos, cruise ships, corporate events, all that kind of stuff. And then I figured out, oddly enough, I could spend 30, 60, 90 minutes transforming somebody's night as an entertainer, making it fun, interesting, engaging, exciting, all that stuff. Or I could transform the quality of their life by spending 30, 60, 90 minutes with real deal transformational content, strategy, structure, insights, processes, all that stuff. And I still got to perform. Yay!
Everybody wins.
Yeah, exactly. So I fell in love with the professional development industry because I was a devotee, and I was able to help some people get some results in an industry that was, again, hideously famous for their failures. And here's the thing, and everything we'll talk about today and everything we'll talk about in my entire life, my entire business is built on two very simple questions. And that is, who can I help? How can I help? That's it. Every strategy, every system, every tool, every resource, every asset, every program, product, process, all of that stuff, all built on who can I help and how can I help? I wasn't looking to book gigs. I was looking to help people.
And were you doing that, was part of your doing gigs, part of your marketing as well for helping others? Or how did you marry the two? Because obviously some people can get pigeonholed.
Right.
And others struggle with straddling that line to
Right.
be effective as both.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of models out there, and that I'll just blurt it out. Normally we don't use the F word. I was doing fundraisers. So I would go to, as a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12-year-old, I was going to my local area elementary schools, and I was saying, hey, I've got this program, and there's two possibilities, two ways you can pay. One is I pay you or you pay me. Which would you like to talk about first? And they say, I don't know, maybe where you pay us. So I say, great, no problem. How about if I'll do a show, I'll excite, ignite, entertain, and engage all these kids. We'll do a family fun night a couple of nights after our free assembly program. And then we'll do that for a ticketed price, about the price of a first run movie, and that was like anywhere between $3 and $25, depending on what time and day you're talking about. And then I just do a straight up 50-50 split with the school. So we pack out the auditorium with 200, 300, 400, 500 families, and with no marketing, with no list, with no expense or experience. I mean, how much experience could I have at 7 years old, right? And I just was doing what I love to do. And again, instead of trying to book gigs, I was simply helping, at that time, elementary schools. And that's the whole methodology, if you will. And there are a lot of people out there doing fundraisers, but we just helped people. We didn't, straight up, easy peasy, fresh and breezy.
So you did that when you were 7. Did you continue doing that, or was that something you revisited, you came back, or is this just something that was like your thing ever since then?
Yeah, it was, you're right. It was a roller coaster ride. It was an in and out kind of, process. And I did my fair share of, fee for hire booking gigs as a magician, as a musician, as a hypocrite, as a hypocrite. Yeah, that's right. And as a speaker, so I did some fee for hire things, but it always ended up using and leveraging the principles of this who can I help, how can I help process of, like, for instance, I was doing a casino review show, and there was virtually no marketing support. I mean, they were paying me, but they didn't know how to market. So I simply went out to nonprofit groups and organizations and said, I'll tell you what, Tuesday night is our slow night. How about if you bring your family and friends and come to a great family show? And it was a family show. We did covered shows. In other words, it wasn't like 57 boobs dancing on stage for kids or anything like that. So we did family shows, and we said, and we'll give you a full 50% of every ticket you guys sell, and we'll call it good. And they would come, they would pack out Tuesday nights when everybody else was slow. We were doing 6 nights a week, twice a night, which was unheard of at the time. And all because we just looked, who can we help? How can we help? Who can we help? How can we? I know it sounds super simple.
Well, actually, I just got confused, and maybe I was having a tough time following the bouncing ball. Right. So you found a place at a slow night, or where you had your gig. So you were doing your thing there, slow night. So let's just use round numbers. $10 a ticket is what, let's say it was.
Sure.
So you said, okay, we know that there's going to be X amount of tickets available. You then went to the nonprofit and you said, we've got a slow night. Were you able to say, I will sell you these tickets for $5? Or like, how did, I guess where I lost the ball was what happened at that point. And then I'm like, well, it sounded so simple because you lost me.
Sorry about that.
Is it
Going
good?
back,
Well, I lost the ball. I'm not blaming you. I was just trying to. I guess I was maybe getting ahead of myself, or got stuck in the, in the. I'm imagining the show and trying to figure out what it was. So
yeah, no, we just went to these nonprofits and said, we will give you 50% of every ticket that you sell.
got it. And that's what the win-win is the show, the house was okay with that. So you went to them first and were like, hey, we got these low nights. Would you rather have empty seats or half the ticket? Or were you renting the space and you determined the price of the tickets anyway?
Yeah. We did a very unique thing. Think something that was absolutely unheard of in the day. There's in the casino market, they call four-wall, which is basically you rent the space, take your chances.
Got it.
There was fee for hire, or they just contracted you. We did something in the middle, again, because of the how can I help, who can I help? We did what is now referred to as a two-wall, which is basically they paid us a minimum, and then we basically, for all intent and purpose, did a 50-50 split with them, where we paid them back on our guarantee each and every week.
Got it. Okay.
And then anything over and above that. So we were still making our money no matter what. And then after that agreement was satisfied, we did a percentage split of the results. So the casino made money, we made money, the nonprofit made money, everybody wins. Because, and again, still to this day, nobody's leveraging this idea, but it was like all based on that super simple idea. How can I help people that need help?
So when you're looking at the first thing is, how can I help, is when you're looking at the fundraiser or the charity, you're thinking the how can I help is help them get more money.
If that's what they wanted. Absolutely. Yeah. I would always go to them, and I would never assume, because we live what I refer to as a no mind reading zone.
Okay.
So instead of assuming, I just say, hey, who do you serve? What do you want, or what do you need? And how can I help? So, and usually, who do you serve? And then I'd ask, what do you need? And they'd say, oh my gosh, we've got grant money, but we can't use it for operations. We need a copy machine that actually works, and we're flush with money, but we can't. So we need some additional resources to get a copy machine. Or, hey, we're doing great, or we actually need more food, or we actually need more funds, or what we really need is we need awareness. We need more members to join us for our volunteer force, or whatever it happens to be. Mm-hmm. And then if I could help them get it, and usually there was a moneyed element to it. So, but mostly it was funds and awareness, and then how they directed those funds determined what the result they got, as a group. So
awesome. So while you were doing that, and I could go down that rabbit hole, we could talk about that as well, but I also want to serve people in understanding that you get resistance, that sometimes you'd get some pushback. So what are some of the challenges you faced that you had to overcome? Like what were the time, was there ever a time when you're like, oh man, like I want to help people, but I'm not able to, I'm just going to give up, or go, maybe I should go back to doing shows? Or was there ever those moments where things just weren't working?
I would love to say that there was pushback, but here's the irresistible offer. If I come to you as a nonprofit group or organization saying, how about if I could generate some free and easy, no risk money for you, your group or organization? Would you at least be interested in having a conversation? And in 50 years, nobody ever said no to free money. Why would they?
Right.
Now, I will say that there are some groups that said, oh, well, we can't do these kinds of fundraisers. Great,
Right.
no problem. Or we can't, or we have to go through this arduous process to check with national, and and it was just,
Right.
hey, we're doing the show this Saturday. We want to feed some people tomorrow, kind of stuff. So
So now for looking at if people who are looking at, they're obviously going to want to learn more about this, but as they're doing it, like I'm thinking the couple of the obstacles I see are more personal, right?
yeah,
Like, who am I? Who cares? Why would company X, go, hey, hey, here's charity X, and I offer this, this cool speaker training, and I don't know if you've got, members of your group that are interested in sharing their message of overcoming struggle in their issues that you guys have. Why would they want to work? Why would they? What's the value add? I know the value add, but to them, are they, and I guess it depends on the size or whatever the charity, are they used to going, well, we have Bill Clinton come and speak, or like, what is the mindset going into something like that, where you can go, okay, I'm still adding value and it's worth it. Like, they're going to get something out of it. If they blast out to their group of, friends in the area, whatever it is, and they're going to get 100 people to come and pay $100 a head, whatever it is, like, is that part of the challenge that you either saw yourself or some of your students, trainees, whatever, the people, mentors or apprentices that you've had in the past? What is that process up there? Because that's ultimately our biggest challenge, is ourselves. So how
preach it, brother. Come on,
yeah, so
preach
I'm
it.
just kind of curious, how does one go, yeah, I could do this?
Right. Well, again, I hate to sound like there's no resistance. And here's the truth. The fact of the matter is that there's no, it's all value, all win along the way. Like, for instance, if you are a local area business leader, why would you want to, or let's answer your first question. Who am I? Right? Well, listen, if I make a donation or hand you a check for hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, doesn't matter who signs the check. Like, this is why it's free. I don't have to be famous. I don't have to be any of that stuff. I wasn't a national headliner, but I was making more money than all the other performers combined, because I was simply partnering with people who cared about the right things. And the reason that these partners want to partner with us in these cause outcomes is because they get what they need.
Mm-hmm.
And I just get to do what I love as an author, as an expert, as a speaker, as a performer, as a presenter, as an entertainer, as an educator. I just get to do what I love. I get to create massive and incredible value during my live presentation or event. And nobody cares that I'm not Tony Robbins, and nobody cares that I'm not David Copperfield. Nobody cares. They care about what they care about. And that's all we're doing. That's why I say, how can I help? Who can I help? I'm not asking who am I to help and who are you to receive my help. No, I'm saying, how can I help? Who can I help? Listen, no offense to anybody, but it's, your ego is not your amigo, as one of my mentors says.
Mm-hmm.
It is not about us. It's about, how can I add value to them? And once I've done that, listen, if I help generate an extra $100,000 in over and above your business just this month alone, would you be more or less interested in working with me in the future? Who cares what my name is?
Fair. So in this case, so let's say you go in and you say, your conversation is essentially like, hey, who do you guys serve? And they go, like, I'll give you an example.
Please.
Friend of mine, because I took the thing that you shared with me. I went through it and I'm like, this is brilliant. Love it. This is right up my alley. Like,
good.
Service, adding value is my passion. Finding partners to do it with is also my passion. Like, I'm not I am not an all about me, but I also at times go, like every human, like, well, we all have that conversation. Do you want what I have to offer?
Yes, sir.
So I talked to one guy who's on the board of an organization that provides cribs for, other than, people who don't have finances. They apparently, I didn't realize this.
I love it.
It's a pretty a lot of babies die from being smothered because there are people who don't have enough money to they can't afford a crib.
Correct.
So God bless them.
God bless
So it's
you.
like,
Yeah,
oh,
right.
now I'm sure I went around about it all the wrong way, because I saw the, like, oh well, I'd love to help you, makes, like, create some more opportunities and get some more, money. um how do you go about doing that? And he's like, it's all grants. We get all our stuff from grants.
Yep, absolutely.
And I was like, oh, okay. So, like, if we did a thing, like maybe we do a training, offer something, some leadership to your constituents, and maybe find a way for donors to, pay for that kind of thing. He's like, no, we just do it in grants. So, is that something that you've experienced? Is that a normal kind of a thing because that's the way they raise their funds?
Yeah,
Or
well, what's
is
interesting
there?
about grants is grant money usually has a very specific strings attached to that nonprofit. Remember, I told you about that one
Mhm.
organization that needed a copy machine? They
Yeah.
couldn't use any of those grant resources to make that happen. So they need additional support. Now, if it's just a grant-based group or organization, then grant writing, that's how you do grants. It's just a different. But if you have a base of folks who supports you anywhere from $100 to $1 million to whatever, a donor base, then those people are, even in as much as I love different groups and organizations, and I support them on a regular basis as well, that the only time they come to me is when they want, like, it's that time of year again. We're doing our fundraising drive, and send in your checks.
Right.
And I get a little slip of paper that says I get to take a portion of this off of my taxes or whatever it happens to be. And I get maybe a pat on the back, and maybe I get a rubber chicken that I have to, by the way, pay for to attend,
Right.
banquet,
Yeah.
sorry. And so instead, imagine, again, who can I help? How can I help? Well, what if I could help you celebrate those people that love you on a regular basis by giving to them something of incredible value? Now, who are the folks in that nonprofit who support them? They're people of, I'm just going to say, people of means. People have resources over and above their living, to, who are not worried about food on the table and gas in the tank, even in a COVID world. That so they're C-suite executives, they're high-level performing sales professionals, they're business owners, entrepreneurs, micropreneurs, solopreneurs, all the preneurs. They are people of means and resource who figured out how to make money. And those are the people that donate anywhere from $1 to $1 million every time the hand comes towards them. Well, instead of reaching out to them and saying, let's use the D word, again, we don't use the F word or the D word. The D word is donation, where you give me something for nothing. What if we celebrate them? We say, you know what? We love and appreciate you. You've been so faithful the entire year. What if, instead of you just sending in a donation, we give you an amazing, incredible half-day, full-day, or multi-day immersion training experience by these experts, and you'll get this value in return. And normally, if you were to hire Doug to come to you and do an in-house for your company, it would be $10,000 to $25,000. If you were to go to one of his live trainings, it would be $1,000 to $15,000 to attend one of the workshops or seminars. It would be, and again, doesn't matter what the numbers are.
Yeah,
I'm just
I get it.
using numbers. But because Doug cares about what we care about, he's agreed to do a really cool, fun, amazing immersion business development training experience for you, and for less than it would cost you to go out for a nice evening on the town with your spouse, right? So for like $100, you can come and you can get a full day's chocolate goodness of what Doug has to offer. And if he has some guest speakers, that's fine, or whatever. And you deliver $200 to $1,000 worth of real deliverable value in gifts and downloads and resources. You love their socks off. I mean, you love their socks off so well at the end of the day, for wherever they are in the world in this virtual training experience, that they walk around barefoot for the rest of the day. I mean, it is an amazing, this is the deal or no deal kind of make it or break it. You love their socks off. You deliver real value. You don't hold back. You don't, wuss out. You just deliver really good chocolatey greatness. Then at the end of the day, because you've delivered so much value, you say, hey, there's some people here who might want to extend their education, continue a relationship, and learn more about what you can. Listen, there's only so much time. We can do only so much damage in 8 hours together. I would love, absolutely adore the opportunity to share with you how we can extend this opportunity together. Hey, it may or may not be few, and you do the you do the dance. You serve them further. Invite some folks to join you in whatever program process that you might have to take them further down the road. Some will, some won't. Somewhat, so what? Someone's waiting next. So let's back out on the numbers thing. Let's say a nonprofit group or organization. I'm going to use light numbers, but I'm going to give you an example. Most groups or organizations have in excess of 100,000 donors. And I'm talking about your dollar donors, and I'm talking about your $1 million donors.
Mm-hmm.
Then, so then let's say you go to these people, but let's say for the sake of conversation, they only have 10,000 people on their list. Now, I know some are smaller, but most are more, but they have 10,000. And you send them some really good upfront value without asking for anything in return through their email system, which, by the way, you don't get the list. You just say, I'll create some cool value you can send to your donors just as a thank you from us. Just saying, you've been so cool. Here's Doug. He's going to teach you 3 strategies on how to get this, that, and the other thing. 3 to 5 minutes, no big deal. You send them 5, 10 videos, something like that, whatever. You send this really great thing. And then you say, after video 5, after video 6, after video 7, you say, you know what? The response has been so incredible to these free goodness that we've twisted Doug's arm. He's agreed to do a half day or full day training for us. If there's enough interest, if you're interested, just tell us where to send some information just to expand on your interest. That's it. No pressure, no sales, no slime ball, no nothing. Oh, and by the way, here's some more chocolatey goodness for today. And then the response is next day, or next week, or next video, or next training, or next gift. You say, guess what? The response has been phenomenal. We've agreed to do an event. We're going to do it next Saturday. It's in front of your computer. It's going to be amazing. If you're interested in going, no pressure, just click here and join us on Saturday. And let's say, okay, 10,000 people, and let's say only 1,000 people watch your 5, 6, 7, 8 value add videos. Again, there's total value add videos, no slimy sales stuff, right? Then let's say only 1,000 of those people, 10% of those people watch those videos. And let's just say, for the sake of conversation, because you've been in the industry long enough, that this 10% is bogus. It is very, very light.
Right.
So let's say 10% of those people, 100 people say, sure, I'll show up for $100. I mean, what do I got to lose? And I know that a 50% of that, or 100%, or whatever you want, is going towards that nonprofit group. At least I'm getting something for my donation this time.
Now, do they know, do they get the 100% write-off if it's a rev split?
They don't, but again, look what you're doing. Now you can set it up that the nonprofit can take the thing and then just cut a check back to you for your 50%. Or again, because it's your business, I'm just using 50% because it's easy.
Right.
You can say, hey, you can keep all the ticket sales. I'm going to serve their socks off so well, they're going to want to continue on with me after the day. Mm-hmm. And I'll take that. And by the way, this doesn't include sponsors or champions, people who want to come alongside of you and have access to that audience.
Right.
So, okay. So let's say 100 people show up for $100 a piece. Simple math tells us that's $10,000. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Childhood education. And so they have a great day. You've over delivered. Comes to the point at the day when you're going to say, great. If you're interested, I'd love to share with you how I can help you beyond our time together here today, if it makes sense. And let's say only 100 of those people, or 10% of those people, say yes. So 10 people say yes to your, let's say, $1,000 offer. Again, because simple math, simple mind. Mm-hmm. I apologize. I am a product of California Prop 13. So my basic skills.
They should have done at least 14. Would have been better.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, so we got $10,000. If we split it, it's 5,000 before I ever even show up on camera. 5,000 for them just to do this 5 or 10 times. We just hit send on the email. And or $10,000 for them, and you love on them, and you make an offer. You invite some champions to partner with you to make the magic happen. That's the whole thing. So let's say you get five champions, sponsors. Another word we don't use the F word, the D word, or the S word. Sponsors. So we call them champions, rock stars, legends, heroes, because they are. And we get these champions to come alongside of us to have access to the audience. We position them, celebrate them, love on them, help them, and partner them together with our guests and attendees and delegates and members and people who join us in the process. And they're happy for this very, very targeted, specific, business excited audience to be in front of, and we celebrate them. And let's say we get 5 of those, and they give us $1,000 a piece. So if we split with the nonprofit, we got 5,000 from the tickets, split of the ticket sales. We got $5,000 in champion resources or income, and we made, let's say, 10,000 in $1,000 coaching packages or product sales or whatever it is we do at the end of our day, right? So that's what, 20,000, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, $20,000 sitting behind your camera at home. But more importantly, you answered the 2 questions. Who can I help? How can I help?
Love it. So question, before this, were you doing, before this COVID craziness, were you doing them live or were you doing them virtually anyway?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Both.
You were already doing them virtually prior to all of this.
Yes, absolutely. Doing these virtually beforehand, doing them live and in the room as well. So, but the good news is, of course, this COVID pendulum, this virtual digital pendulum, like, back in the day before COVID, Zoom was little more than a children's PBS television program, right? Now it is the verb in the marketplace. It is now like, we don't go to meeting anymore. We now Zoom. I don't care what platform you're on. Hey, let's jump on a Zoom and have a conversation. It's like Coke. It's like Google. It's like Kleenex. It's the verb in the marketplace. And in less than 3.5 weeks, they gained that market share. They went from like 56,000 inactive users to like 3.2 million proactive users in less than 3 weeks. Now, credit to them for giving away to every school in the world access to their Zoom platform.
They did, yeah.
So we were doing online events and offline events. And frankly, we were doing a hybrid experience where we were offering online or offline events that were you could come as a guest if you were in Singapore, or if you were in Australia, or if you were across the street and you didn't want to leave your house. You could attend virtually or digitally anyway. So we were always doing that. Listen, we were doing, I guess you can call them digital events 25 years ago, because, as a speaker, sometimes they say, man, we could probably make your speaker fee, but there's $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 worth of premium expenses and per diems and costs and stuff. We can't make that work. I say, well, no problem. Hey, I have this killer content. I could either live stream in the last 3 to 5 years. I could send you pre-recorded content that's custom, and I'd go in the studio and record that stuff. We used to send out VHS videos.
Wow.
25 years ago that they could actually play, and we got our speaker fee doing that. So it's not a new idea being digital, but it's like where digital or was a option like a long time ago, like 9 months ago.
Right.
Now it is way over here as the pendulum swung. Now it is the option, right? I mean, we're here now. I think when it swings back, it'll never swing back to gravity center. I think it'll stay back here. And this is my prediction, that I think we'll always see this digital thing is the now evolution and revolution, not the new economy. It's the now economy. It's not the new digital evolution, revolution. Is the now. It's happening. It is. We are here. And I think it'll go back because now the acceptance is well past critical mass.
Yeah.
And I think, hey, listen, you want to I'm not saying Tony would do it, but you want to bring Tony into your event, you're not going to be able to afford his $200,000 speaker, plus his premium, plus his plus entourage, plus.
Yeah.
But as he might be able to come in for his speaker fee, or maybe a little bit less. I don't know. That's, everybody, and that's another conversation altogether, right? The value is no less just because it's being digital over a digital medium. But I understand some speakers are giving discounts. I don't encourage it, but do what you do, Anyway, so I think that we can now afford to bring in Arnold Schwarzenegger or Tony Robbins or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or, whoever that we couldn't afford otherwise. He's still our keynote. He's still our draw. It just happens to be, he's going to be doing it from the comfort of his own home or studio. And there's no those additional expenses and stuff like that. And guess what? Until we come back fully in full swing together, I think we're going to see this hybrid experience is going to be here to stay for quite a while, where even if you attend physically, you're going to have the opportunity to attend digitally as well.
Right. Or the follow-ups, like here's the
That's
program
right.
that's coming up afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
Now, did you find that once COVID and all started to become like serious consideration, did any of your live events cancel, or did you have any live events at that point? And then also, did you notice a shift in attendance and participation virtually?
Yes, I had events. Yes, none of them canceled. We just shifted them. We pivoted into the digital arena. Now, of course, maybe you might have to add a little more value in this digital world, but there are things we can do online that we could never do live and in the room. I mean, I could do things with my camera. I have forced focus. There's a bunch of really cool things I could do that would make a difference here that I could never do and get away with in a live.
Like in magic terms?
Yeah, like magic stuff or some, but to that end, yes, here's the thing, is the need for training, the need for moral, emotional, spiritual, relational, financial growth trainings is greater. The need for nonprofit support, the need is so exponentially greater than it's ever been in our history. And there are so few who have made the profit pivot to be able to support them. Like, I'm not going to crossed arms, crossed eyes, crossed legs, whatever. I'm not gonna do digital, or I'm not gonna. But there's a greater need. So now, and again, we have no geographic boundaries anymore. I can speak to folks in Hawaii and in globally, all at the same time with the click of the same mouse button, having the same live impact as I would as if they were right next door in a cubicle next to me, watching on their screen there. So
what I'm gathering is part of that conversation where you just shared all those needs. Those are the needs of the nonprofits. And so when you're having that conversation, my hallucination is that you're going, okay, I've got my toolbox with all of this cool stuff. And now I'm listening for keywords like, morale or, the team building, like, should we get all together? Oh, so here I am. The need I could fill is through magic. I could do a show. Or I hear, oh, you're having trouble raising awareness, so we could do a motivational something or other celebrating, and we could do, like, I know you've got your show. You can say, hey, what if I did some interviews with some people within the organization to raise awareness, which then puts you now in the good graces to go, hey, let's do something else cool with Dean.
Right. Yep. It really is that simple. I mean, again, who can I help? How can I help? And as a business owner, you need more training, you need more access, you haven't made the shift. Most businesses, like 90% of businesses, have never done a live stream. They might know what it is. They might see us right now. But they've never done one. They might even been on one, but they don't know how to leverage it. They don't know how to leverage social media in a significant and meaningful way. So even as a business owner, I can come to that business and saying, how would you like to have access to a global audience? without leaving the comfort of your own home or your own screen. And you do it in a way that serves the community, and you do it in a way that doesn't cost you as much as it would cost you to do even a live event. And we can engage and excite and ignite and entertain and effectively train your family of employees and members, because whether they're working from home or working from the office, on and on and on, right? So it's
So
all win. It's all win.
so there's where I guess this is where the art comes in. That conversation is with a business owner after you've aligned with a nonprofit, and then you're bringing them together.
Yeah, for the sake of simplicity, I would say you find a charitable cause group you want to serve and support, and then you invite some local champions to say, hey, listen, how about if we could help engage your members? They haven't come into the office for a while, they're feeling disconnected, they could use an evening out, or they can use some motivation, or they could use whatever hey, why don't you join us as well? We're going to be raising funds and awareness for this charitable cause group. Why don't we work together to make great things happen? And you get your training, you get your entertainment, you get your whatever it is you want out of it. And we have that conversation. And the nonprofit, and you get to align yourself with a cause, because as a business owner, you're so busy doing what you do and you don't have time. And every single business owner I've ever talked to wants to have some sense of contribution in their business. They want to have a philanthropic force or drive in their business, but they're so busy operating their business that they don't have time. So if you can come alongside of them and saying, guess what? We've already got the charitable cause. Oh, and by the way, what's your favorite cause? Oh, you know what? My next door neighbor, or when I was a kid, I struggled with homelessness and foods. Can you do something for the food bank? Sure. Let's go talk to the food bank and let's have that conversation. Bring them in as well. Let's, my daughter has autism. Great. Who's the chapter you work with? Let's help them out. And boom, you bring them all in. Everybody's good. It's, partnering together to make great things happen. That's really all we're doing by answering the question, who can I help? How can I help? So I hate to be a broken record, but
no,
it's really simple.
But what's brilliant about it is it gives now from both angles, and maybe I lost that in the share that you had provided for me before, is the now you have a reason to also, not only are you going to the nonprofit and helping them go, how could you raise more funds, more awareness, more what have you, without putting your hands out. And then you have now the opportunity to go to businesses and have something else to talk to besides, hey, how's your sales team doing? Are they,
right,
operating on all cylinders? Or, would you like to move the needle 20%?
That's right.
It's not just that. It's,
that's right.
Hey, just, other stuff going on. I happen to know a little bit about your organization, and this might be a charitable organization that, or would another strategy be to look at maybe the charitable company and see what companies are already supporting them?
Of course.
Go back to those companies, say, hey, I see that you're already working with, XYZ charity. But we already have to have established a conversation with XYZ to go, hey, I see company Y has a sales, staff of 2,000 people or whatever. Wouldn't this be a cool way to add value to them?
That's right.
So
it's really that simple. Yeah, it really is. We have a thing we call the $10,000 helicopter challenge. And that is, you drop us by helicopter or however, in any developed English speaking area, and come back, drop us off at 9 o'clock. By 5 o'clock, we'll have sponsors, we'll have champions, we'll have a date, we'll have a venue, we'll have a cause, we'll have everything already lined up. Now, we may not do an event that night. Now we have, but we may not. And if we can't do that successfully, we'll give you $10,000. Now, in 50 years, I've never generated or given away a penny. And we've accepted the challenge, by the way. So, hey, I can go anywhere I want. If I wanted to take a vacation to Disney World next when it opens up, I can call up a local charitable cause group in the area and saying, guess what? I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there this day, and this day. I'm spending 2 weeks, but I have this day, and this day available to serve you. What which day is best for you if I were to cut you a check for partnering with us? And they go, I don't care. Whatever day you're available, right? So I'm going to be there on the 28th. Great, 28th it is. See you then. And then I get my vacation paid for, and I partner with these great groups and organizations. We make great things happen. I have a great time with my family, and then I come home.
So when it gets to that point, who's doing, I mean, it sounds like obviously there's a lot of legwork at the beginning. Where is like the marketing and filling the room? Where does that come from? Is that coming from?
That's the good news, is there is no marketing. There is simply creating value and then inviting people to extend their opportunity to get more value. So you're a nonprofit, you're a business, whatever. So let's say you're a nonprofit. And again, all those people who support you on a regular basis, if we invite those people who you love, we give them value up front, and then we invite them to come to this event. Some of them will. And that's where that 100 people at $100 a ticket in that example come from. You can do the same thing. Listen, I realize that you've been wanting to hire me, or I realize that you need to hire a sales influence trainer. And you may, right now, maybe funds are limited. Guess what? I'm doing this event to benefit this nonprofit group or organization. And if you get your employees, or if you get your members, or if you get your list, or if you get your, now whose list? Oh, I don't know, theirs. I don't have to have a list. What does it cost me? Nothing but a conversation. See, that's the thing, is in all of this stuff, we teach three core covenant commitments. That one first is never leave the side of a human interaction without creating value. If all you do that in your business from now on, starting right now, if all you do in your business, do your level best to never leave the side of a human interaction without creating value. If all you do is that, will your business grow or will it decline? I can tell you from experience, it will absolutely and exponentially grow, because again, if I help you get what you want, are you more interested or less interested in potentially working with me, right? 2, that is leverage everything. So if I'm going to serve one group, I might as well serve 2 or 3. If I'm going to talk to one organization, I might as well talk to you who has access to hundreds, right? And number 3 is kind of a weird one, but if you breathe, record it. Because then you can use it to add value at the site of a human interaction. You can use it because you're leveraging that interaction. And so it's a cycle, really simple. We teach what we call KISS. You've heard it before. But here's what's interesting about KISS, is that even people who preach KISS complicate KISS. Most people say, keep it stupid simple, keep it simple stupid, no, just keep it super simple. Stop overcomplicating even the most basic KISS principle. Stop it. Put your hand out. Stop it. So KISS, keep it super simple. So we just look to help people. If it's a business owner, we say, you probably have some people who need to be trained. You may not be able to afford it, but I bet you can put 10 of your people in for less than it would cost you to even purchase my program to play for all your employees. For $1,000 at $100 a person, you can put your 10 key influencers into this event. And guess what? 50% of that goes to a nonprofit group or organization. So you get to feel really good about getting your people solely, completely, totally, amazingly served and trained. You also get to feel good about that you're not spending $10,000 to have me come speak to you at your in your automobile showroom, sales training boardroom, or your board of realtors, or your whatever it happens to be. And everybody wins all at the same time. And I had to know somebody at an auto dealership. I had to know somebody at a company who needed training. I had to know somebody at a cause group who wants more funds and awareness. I had to know somebody. That's it. I know 5 people, and I can put 5,000 people in a room, digital room, with no marketing cost and a couple of conversations. My price is a casual conversation with somebody who needs my help. And if I can help them, I help them. If I can't, I say, you know what? Doug might be a really good guy to serve you with what your particular needs are. I'm not poised, positioned, prepared, and ready to serve you with that. So let me help you by introducing you to Doug. or whatever, right? So either help them or try to get them help.
So love this is, I mean, I think this is amazing for, and I think, you know, when we connected, you know, like you're just a giving, caring person as well, besides being very brilliant at what you're doing. For people who are like coaches, speakers, trainers, and all of that, I know they're probably going, this is like, yeah, I need that slap because I'm already complicating it as I'm listening to it. So the 10,000 foot challenge, you know, you get dropped in there.
Mhm.
So your first step is, are you like going to like the networking event? Like, how do you find the ecosystem, and then where do you start breaking in? Do you have a system for that,
Yeah.
or is it a little bit like, you know, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. ABC 1, 2, 3, step by step. And I'll tell you why, because after 50 years of making millions of dollars with mistakes, I've learned what works and what doesn't. Now that's just called life,
Right.
right? That's just humanity. That's just what works. And the good news is that school is always in for the lifetime learner. So, hey, I had to make some shifts from sometime digital to full-time digital,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there were some shifts that had to be made, and also had to, you know, wade through some BS, some belief systems about how this process works and doesn't work. And so sure, there's always opportunities to go and grow on and learn and, you know, make shifts and pivots and, you know, all that stuff. But the fact of the matter is, if my core initiative is who can I help, how can I help, how can I create value for people, we'll find a way, because we'll just continue the conversation until you get what you need, or we'll just, you know, find people who have answers that I don't have. So 10,000 you know, excuse the helicopter challenge, drop me in there. You know, one of the first places I'm going to look for is a charitable cause group. Like, I'm probably going to go to the food bank or the soup kitchen or whatever, because everybody needs food at some point or another. They need food, and there's more people who need food than there is food being distributed. Not food. That's not the period of the end of the sentence. Than food being actually distributed. People need the food, right?
Right.
So I'll go to the shelter or the food bank or the soup kitchen, or I'll just find somebody in need. And that's your key influencer. That's called fresh fruit on the ground. I mean, it's so close. You don't have to reach up for the fresh, low hanging fruit. It is like, just reach out and pick it up.
Mm.
So fresh fruit on the ground. And so I'm just going to go find somebody who needs help right away, like the food bank. And I'm saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing an event in 2 weeks here. I'm thinking about doing this, that, and the other thing. What if I were to create, do you guys, what do you need? And sometimes, listen, one of our charitable food banks they had food. They can always use more food or more funds to get those foods. But what they really needed was a forklift. So we got them a forklift, right? We found a business that does forklift rentals, and they wanted to help us help the community. So they gave them a forklift that, you know, now they're happy, and we raised some money as well, and everybody's happy. Now I say, who typically, now I know you're the food bank, the ED, the executive director of the food bank. And I say, who in town usually supports you in events like this? If we were to do such an event, who typically supports you? And they go, oh yeah, this pizza place is really good. They always sending over pizzas. Or this realtor is always helping us find empty spaces to do things, or this whatever, right? It's great. They call them up, say, I'm gonna head over there right now, see if they'd be willing to partner. They already know, love, and trust you. See if they'd be willing to partner with you and make this magic happen as well. And I just simply go to them saying, hey, listen, I was talking to Doug over at the food bank, and he suggested maybe that you might be interested in making some great things happen. But here's the thing: duct tape your wallet closed. I don't want your donation. What I want is to make great things happen in the community. And here's how we're going to do it: value, 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 value. And you said just incredible ongoing value in a way that they now invest in their future ROI, return on investment, their value returns. So I'm not selling anything. If I came to you and said, hey, listen, if I can help you get in front of this audience, if I could expose you to 70,000 school families who live, eat, sleep, breathe, drink right in your neighborhood, not in your region, not in your state, but in your neighborhood, would you at least be interested in knowing how we could partner together to get you access to that audience? On and on and on and on, right? So I just help people get things and stuff and connections and results. That's it. We get rewarded for being to deliver results, right?
So when you were learning this, the millions of dollars of both successes and mistakes, what are some of the mistakes that you had made that you go, man, that was a valuable lesson? And I also want to have you share that, because there are people who have been making mistakes all the time, and sometimes they beat themselves up for it. Right. And while, this is so beautiful and what you're doing, there had to have been some times when you went,
come on,
that again.
Yes, sir. Yeah, of course there were mistakes and good, better, and best practices. I'll tell you, I would say retrospectively, looking back, the number one massive faux pas that I make, and still on occasion do, is I enter into a relationship thinking I know what they want, what they're thinking, what they need. So my big fail was not asking enough good quality questions of them. So I've learned since to become
101.
An askaholic. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's the thing that's like, most people go and think like a casino. They think they have unlimited funds and that they just can afford to hire you. Well, listen, there was a lot of money I left on the table because I just assumed they had money to hire me. Right? That's where I figured out that I remember when I used to do fundraisers for this school and these nonprofit groups, I'll bet you I could fill these auditoriums 6 nights a week instead of 3 nights a week, and do 2 shows instead of 1 show by partnering with a couple of local area nonprofit groups and some other local small business owners and on to make great things happen while selling tickets to a casino magic illusion and review show. I wonder. I did it. It worked, obviously, So, but that came from me going to them saying, yeah, we need 50,000 a week to make the show. What? 50,000? Oh, we need $20,000. We need 20, getting the door slammed in our face, getting our knuckles tapped on by, Sister Mary Hagatha, because it just wasn't happening. Because the other thing was every performer and their brothers, cousins, uncles, family were coming to them saying, we'll four-wall, we'll rent your room, we'll pay you to put on our show.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Like, who wouldn't do that? And that's why most by the numbers, most casino review shows failed exponentially. And this is why we own the category of starving artist. All I did was look for ways to help the casino because they're a business. If they go out of business, who are they of value to? I looked for ways to help local business, real estate, pizza shop, blah, 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 because if they go out of business, who are they of value to? And the nonprofit group or organization, because if they go out of business, then a lot of people go out of business, right? So I just look for ways and get paid, get rewarded for help making all this stuff happen. And it takes longer to explain it than it does to actually do it. That's the best part.
So what I also love about this conversation is this can be pretty much for any coach, speaker, trainer, the value add. You don't have to be an entertainer per se. You have that experience and you have that value add, and that's part of your toolkit, but it is not all of your toolkit, and the great news is too, potentially, is just like you're sharing, this is where the champion conversation comes in, because you may, like for me, I may go, hey, you know what? I need a person who does real magic. Like I'm a hack, but like if I, said, hey, I have a partner, I have work with such and such, here's this extra value. So while during the day, we're going to do the team building and leadership development. And at night, as part of the gala, we're going to have Dean come and do some, amazing magic or what have you. Now, so now if I'm thinking, if I'm one putting that together and I come to you and I say, hey, Dean, would love to do this. How am I presenting it to a champion to have them go, this is going to be awesome?
Because of what's in it for them. Little more than that.
And that is the exposure to the audience. Is it a fee? Is it like what is it that I'm able to leverage to bring in a champion?
Sure. It is after you ask them what they want, if you can give it to them, give it to them. So
So
they may say,
I need $2,500 to come, that's what I want.
right?
I want to get paid.
No, I mean, not you as a, not you.
No, I'm
as
saying
a,
you.
as a
If you
speaker.
say
Oh.
if I say to Dean and or champion A, and you said ask the champion what they need, what they want, and the champion goes, well, I to do something like that, I'm a pay for fee.
Oh, got
Is
it. Sure.
that is
Absolutely. I do that all day long. Listen, if I come to you as the producer of this event, I've got my champions on board, I've got my cause group on board, and I'm just looking for somebody who speaks on something I don't speak on, or delivers some value add that I don't vat. And I want to hire you, Doug.
right?
And I'm going to say, you say $2,500, say, hey, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you 5. Is that okay?
Got it.
Right?
So that's not the champion. The champion is someone who is
your sponsors.
right, and they have what they're getting out of it is exposure, is that kind of thing,
Right.
and they could be presenting or not. They could be just having a table. They could be
Yes. And everybody knows, if I were to say VIP or value stack, everybody knows what that means. But basically said, if I were to take $2,500 from you as a champion, as a sponsor, I would make sure that the value ROI, the value stack return on investment, would be 2 to 10x. So in other words, if you gave me, $1,000, again, simple mind, simple math, if you give me $1,000, then I would give you $2,000 to $10,000 in real value exchange. I would make sure that you got mentions on the radio. I would I would interview you and position you all over social media for you and your business. I would spotlight you in the room. I would give you a table. I'd put you on our banner. I'd give you an ad in the book. I'd make sure that this, I'd make sure that that, I just overwhelm you with value so that you're now going, really? Is $2,500 enough? Because I'm not selling you anything. I'm like, how can I serve you? And this is, you're having the exact same response that 100% of people who don't understand this perspective, because culturally we are taught how to get and not how to give. So we're taught how to get bookings, how to get speaking gigs, how to get sales, I'm challenge you to stop to thinking, how can I give? How can I serve? How can I help you get what you need, as Zig Ziglar says? And if you help people get what they want, need, desire, and deserve, ultimately get everything you want, need, desire, and deserve. It's that simple.
No, I get it. So my questions are coming from when I'm looking at aligning with people, how do I give to them?
Right.
As I'm basically shifting resources within this process.
Sure.
And that's where, because again, it's like if I'm going to a champion, okay, so what is the value add I'm bringing? And sometimes, they all have different needs. So it's really
and they
finding
do
that alignment, right?
So that's why you would ask what they need, and if you can give it. Now, I'm going to challenge you specifically, Doug, because this is a now private conversation every couple of years. Go back to the VIP value add video in the training area, right? Mm-hmm. Watch that. It's 37 minutes to explain all this stuff, how you stack this. Now, for everybody else, what I would encourage is that you just find ways to add more value. For instance, as a presenter, as a trainer, as a transformer, you can go to this organization saying, I'll bet you have a need for the kind of training that I do. Well, normally that's a $10,000 bill or whatever price point. Again, that's a $10,000 bill. How about if you partner with us to make great things happen with the food bank and these groups and this organization, this group and all that, and you give us $2,500 to make that happen. I'll also give you an ad. I'll also give you positioning on social media. I'll also feature you at the event. I'll also celebrate you through traditional, non-traditional, terrestrial broadcast, whatever. I'll put you on my podcast. I will. And so you can see how easily you can find ways to create real, not manufactured, not made up, not BS value, like real deal, rock solid, rock star value for them, and make it irresistible, like redonkulously, like you'd have to be, emotionally, spiritually, relationally, intellectually, financially inept not to take advantage of this order. It would be like absolutely irresistible to say no to you. You'd have to be dumb as a box of rocks for this, because it's so different from what everybody's saying. I'll take that check for $2,500 or $25,000 or whatever your fee is. And by the way, you're going to buy 100 books from me at full retail, or I'll give you a discount,
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. Right. Those gigs are going to be few and far between, friends. I promise you. But if you simply find ways to help people get what they want, need, desire, and deserve, and we call it the super simple 3-step process for getting anything you want on command and demand. This is it. Add value that generates impact for others, and then you share in the profits. VIP, add value that share in the impact, delivers impact. Now, add value first and foremost and always. You know that. I mean,
Yep.
you've been around the block a couple of times, so you're looking to add value. You just have to figure out what for you, and when I say you, I mean all of you.
Everybody. Yeah.
That you have to figure out start writing down, make a laundry list of all the things that you think are of some kind of value, and give it a real deal value. And if it's only $5, it's only $5, whatever. If it's $500, make sure you put $500. If it's $5,000, make sure you put $5,000, because you can say, look, if I were to do this, here's this list of things I can do for you. What about this? How about if I could help you with this? Or, this is so good. What if I could introduce you to other key influencers in business who could help you get what you want? What are all these things? And hey, that's okay. So of the 5 things you say you want, that's $25,000 in real value. Can we agree that would produce those kinds of results for you? Well, how about if you partner together with us to make great things happen, and it's only $2,500 or $25,000 or whatever number it is, So there are some people that literally are that stupid, but not many. And here's the thing, as a presenter of this value structure, I no longer have to sell a thing. All I do is I serve. And if it's a win, let's make some magic happen together. If it's not, no problem, zero pressure. And guess what? Let me send you a couple tickets to our next digital event so you can come as my guest, see what we're doing, see the difference we're making. And guess what they do? They call back and go, holy crap, when can we do one next? I want to be on that, and I can't believe I must have been like a TIA. I must have been out of it.
Well, as you're sharing all this, I see why I think you're able to put this all together because of your experience in magic and learning the tricks.
Yes.
And learning the system, because there, like magic, there is a system to it. And, it's definitely an art of, so I'm guessing a little bit of the learning curve is also similar to learning magic, because you see someone do it, you see the magician, and I've taken magic lessons, and you see the teacher, the master do it, and they make it look so effortless. Right. And you're like, yeah. And then you put it in your hand and you're like, look, ma, no hands. And it's like, no, no.
Right. And listen, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, it's just I love so I'm relating to it, and I just also I see the elegance of it when it works, and I see the necessity to really model and get some, okay, go back and watch that video again. Okay, yeah, because it is simple and we complicate, and when trying to finish the trick in our head. Right. There's still a few steps that need to be taken. And it's that being able to organize and listen for the right questions to ask, listen for the right answers, and then start putting the pieces together, is graceful and elegant, certainly as a concept, because you're doing it, it works. So you have proof of concept. It's just, I could see how people, you got to slap them and tell them stop complicating things.
Of course. Nobody walks out of the womb a 6'2" professional platform closer. It just doesn't happen. You have to crawl, and you have to just lay there for a while, and you have to get up and walk and fall. You have to have a place to be bad.
Right.
David Copperfield wasn't David Copperfield, literally, until he became David Copperfield. and that took 20 years to become an overnight success, and
Right.
on and on and on. And same thing with, I mean, Tony, you listen to his story all day long, and it's like, we have to, every master was once a disaster. All of those cliches are absolutely true. You have to have a place to be bad, but you can cut corners. Like if I wanted to know your specific process, instead of trying to figure it out on my own, where would I might go? I'd go, hey, Doug, teach me.
Right.
Help me. Right? The super slimy, heavy-handed, over-the-top, abusive sales pitch I do? Here's what it looks like. Ready? Here it goes. Would you like some help with that?
I can't take you by sales tactics. Yeah.
That's it.
It's too much.
I mean, if I can help you, let me help you. And that might be putting you into a course or giving you this book, or it might be training you or going through a coaching program, and whatever that looks like. How can I help you? Who can I help? How can I help? Listen, as a speaker, there are people who are stuck doing what they have done and trying to expect different results. We all know what we get from that.
Yep.
But if you want a new result, you have to do a new deliverable, new outcome, a new process, whatever it happens, new thinking, all of that stuff is true. So you got to do it differently if you want a different result. And listen, I have 5 current mentors in my life, for my marriage, for my marriage and relationships, for my business, for my technology, because I'm an idiot, and on, right? So I have, for my faith life, I have, because a school is always in for the lifetime learner. And why would I ever, in a million years, why would I ever try to figure out what you have mastered because of your life experience by trying to, without asking you or consulting you or saying, whatever. Hey, yeah, there's going to be a price for the prize. Obviously, you've done, everybody wants the glory, but they don't want the gory, right? So they don't want to do the work to have the result. I'd love to be a master pianist, but I spent 0 time studying, practicing, doing anything on the piano.
I actually just had that conversation today with someone about, it was on, excuse me, I was on his podcast. And what was interesting, the question came up, like, why is it that only 5%, or the 5% rule, people succeed in 95 in all areas.
Yeah.
And my experience has been, and kind of what you shared is, and it got into kind of how that happened, is like, I use music as an example, and you could use entertainment. So 2 hours on stage is magical and glorious and, is insane, but not the 24 hours of travel it took for you to get there, or not the 24 years of practice it took for you to get there, or not the, and it so often we have that meme, what my mom thinks I do, what my friends think I do, what my, and I think about in the music industry, whether it was traveling to a gig or whether it was, in the studio making a record, it was not as glamorous as people think it is. And then they go, where's the glamour? And then they give up pretty quickly because, like you shared, they want the glory, not the gory. And they're kind of going, oh, wait, this is going to require an effort. And then, that clearly becomes a challenge for many.
Absolutely.
So, that being said, you've given so much, and I know enough for people to, kind of start breaking stuff. How do people find you to learn about a little more and maybe have the questions that maybe, I couldn't think of in our conversation?
No problem. I have free gifts, and that there is literally duct tape your wallet closed. There is nothing to buy. Seriously, there's not even an opt-in. I know every marketer goes, oh my God, I'll squeeze them for their. No, I just want to help you. And the good news is, if I help enough people, some of those people will come around and saying, hey, you know what? I'd love to know a little bit more. And that's why you never see me marketing my processes. So I have a series of free gifts and downloads, trainings, tools, resources, assets, information. Simply go to Pay It Forward and Profit. Sounds like what we've been talking about, right? Pay It Forward and Profit. Pay It Forward and Profit. PayItForwardProfit.com. And there you'll find free gifts. You can gain access to our free Pay It Forward and Profit private closed door member area on Facebook, where there are tons more gifts and tools and community and conversation surrounding this stuff. You can watch a series of trainings, 3-minute, 16-minute. You want to watch an 80-minute, you can watch whatever you want, and get some insight for, as a speaker, as a performer, as a presenter, as a business leader. Listen, if you're in insurance, if you're in real estate, if you're in law, if you're in, a sandwich shop, if you're whatever business you're in, you can leverage this ESP process: events, sponsors, profits, right? Really easy. So payitforwardandprofit.com. That's it.
Well, and I also want to edify your Facebook group. It's phenomenal. You're adding value all the time, and it's kind of crazy. Like, people pay a lot of money to be in a group that gives way less than you're providing. Like, it's almost like you feel guilty being in it. Like, oh, I just feel, So I mean, you're definitely a man of your word, and your integrity is absolute. And it's been a privilege and pleasure meeting you. And I love the, your energy and you're willing to, and it was right. I mean, this is who you are. This is not, you're like this all the time. You go in the Facebook group, you're there. So brilliant. Any final words or kind of last lesson that, as people may want to start digging in, what would be the first thing they could start doing that they can go, this is for me?
Yeah, I would say, very simply, and again, I know it's sort of redundant, but it's just look for ways to be of value to other people, add value that delivers impact, and then you'll profit emotionally, spiritually, relationally, intellectually, and financially. So just start by looking for ways to add value. And that might be a simple compliment. Hey, that is like an awesome shirt. I love that shirt. I wish I had the physiology to be able to wear that shirt. I don't. I wear coats. Even 100 pounds ago, I wouldn't have had that, I mean, I'm less healthy than I used to be these days, as it were. More healthy. I'm
more healthy.
100 pounds lighter than I was.
Right.
That's what I meant. But, and genuine, authentically care about others and find ways to be of value. Listen, I go through and find people who are posting online and saying, does anybody know? Or, hey, I'm talking about this, or they're celebrating something. And I simply reach out and say, hey, I saw this video, or I went looking for this video. This video will answer your question. This is really good. Or I would create video, or I kill content. I say, hey, Doug, you want to know what Doug knows on this subject? Go check out Doug. Here's a direct link. I don't even say Google him. Right. I just, so serve, add value. People will begin to notice you. And honestly, that's the only reason I'm here now and again, it wasn't because of strategic. It was strategic, but it wasn't because of strategery that I'm here. It was because we hit it off. We had a great conversation. But if I hadn't looked to David and added value for his audience, which I gave them a free gift and a tool that they could download. And I emailed them and said, listen, it's stripped off. I cleaned it. I sanitized it. Doesn't have any contact information. It just has like a whole bunch of really cool free links for digital connection points, like Zoom, like Team, like all free that people can use right now. And this was at the beginning of the pandemic, and people were looking for that stuff. So I created an online Google document report, and it just said, just send them there if you want. And he goes, oh my God, nobody's ever asked me that before. Because I didn't want anything from him. I just want to have him be able to say, here's a gift. Oh, and by the way, Dean suggested, and I said, you don't have to give me credit. I just want, you can copy and paste it, make it all yours. I don't care. I just want your people to have that.
Right.
And because they're looking, people are hurting, and it broke my heart. So I want to do something. And so that's all I did. And you saw that. And you said, wow, that sounds kind of cool. Let's have a conversation. We fell in love with each other, emotionally, spiritually, relationally. Yep. And we're here, and you're going to be a guest on Pay It Forward and Profit Cast. I'm so excited to have you there, because I want to, smear around the chocolatey goodness that is Doug, and with my family of members. And I'll leave with this, and I'm going to totally lift this. This is from Hello, Dolly. And the character, Dolly Levi, the lead character, she says, and I'm going to add to it, but she says, money is like manure. Simply spread it around, encourage things to grow. Well, I would say that is absolutely unconditionally true with your value, with your what I call T4, your time, your talent, your treasure, and your trust, your relationships, and your ability to influence. T4. So just spread it around, encouraging things to grow. Add value, generates impact, and then you'll profit.
Beautiful, brother. Love it. Well, I can't thank you enough for sharing your most valuable assets, your time, your talent, your treasure. And I look forward to more rock with you. I look forward to, meeting more of your amazing audience and tribe. And, if there's anything I could do to support you in your mission, of course, me resources, Sue resources. And let's just keep the flow going.
I love it. I appreciate you. Thank you. God bless, brother. Have an awesome, awesome day and beyond.
God bless you too, brother. We will see you soon.
Yes, count on.
All right. Peace. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging with us. And remember to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast right here. And we look forward to serving you even more. Remember, download your free guided hypnotic meditation at guidedhypnotic.com. That's guidedhypnotic.com, where you'll get your free anxiety-busting meditation. We look forward to serving you, and if you have any questions, comments, please feel free to reach out. All right, we love you for who you are and who you aren't. God bless.